Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Bhagavata, Vrndavana Thakur, Adi-Khanda, Chapter 4, Chaitanya Leela. This chapter is description of the Lord's name-giving ceremony, childhood pastimes, and the abduction by thieves. Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistai Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paskatade Satarni. O lotus-eyed Lord Chaitanya Chandra, glory, glory unto you. Glory, glory to your loving devotees. Please, place your auspicious glance upon me, so that, free from guile, my heart may worship you day and night. Now that Lord Chaitanya was present there, the bliss in Sachi's home increased day after day. Again and again, gazing at their son's handsome face, the Brahmin and Brahmini floated in an ocean of bliss. Lord Vishvarup would look at his mother, the abode of bliss, smile. Lord Vishvarup would look at his brother, the abode of bliss, smile, and embrace him. Relatives would stay around the infant boy day and night. Some chanted the Vishnu Raksha mantras, others chanted Devi Raksha mantras, and others circumambulated the house. When he wept, shedding tears from his lotus eyes, the Lord would at once stop if he heard the holy name of Lord Hari. Eventually, everyone understood the Lord's hint. Whenever he wept, they would chant the names of Lord Hari. The playful demigods would sometimes play practical jokes on the people, always surrounding the Lord. Invisible, a demigod would slip into the house. When the people saw his shadow, they would say, "There goes a thief." Some called out, "Nishinga, Nishinga." On the mouths of others, the Aparajita Stotra was heard. Many prayers were recited in 10 directions. Thus there was a great commotion in Sachi's home. Seeing that the Lord was inside, the demigods would gather outside the house. The people would then say, "Someone should guard the house." Others would cry out, "Stop, stop, a thief runs away." And others would call out, "Nishinga, Nishinga." An exorcist warned the demigods, "Today you may have escaped, but you do not know the great power of Lord Nishinga." Invisible, the demigods laughed. In this way 1 month passed. On the day celebrating Balaka Uttana, Sachi went with the other women to bathe in the Ganga. Accompanied by tumultuous singing and instrumental music, Sachi bathed in the Ganga. She worshipped goddess Ganga, and then she went to the temple of goddess Shasti. After properly worshipping the feet of all the demigods, she returned home with the other women. Then Sachi respectfully offered them puffed rice, bananas, oil, red sundara, betel nuts, and betel leaves. And blessing the infant boy and offering obeisances to Mother Sachi, all the women returned to their homes. In this way, the Lord enjoyed pastimes. If the Lord does not give understanding, who has the power to understand them? Again and again, the infant Lord cried. In this way, he made everyone chant the holy names of Lord Hari. Whatever the women did to pacify him, the Lord would only cry more and more. However, when everyone said, "Hari, Hari," a smile at once appeared on the Lord's moon-like face. Discovering that this pleased the Lord's heart, everyone would gather together, clasp their hands, and sing Hari. In this way, everyone happily performed Hari Sankirtan, and Sachi's home became filled with the holy names of Lord Hari. The Lord's pastimes in Jagannath Mishra's home were secretly like the pastimes he enjoyed as Gopal Krishna. When no one was home, he scattered things here and there. On the 4 walls, he threw oil, milk, whey, and ghee. When he learned Mother is coming, the infant Lord fell to the ground and cried, saying, "Hurry, hurry." Mother Yasoda comforted her infant son. Then she saw all things scattered about. She asked, "Who threw the wheat, rice, and dal everywhere in the house?" Then she saw the pots of milk and yogurt were broken. In the house was only a 4-month-old infant. Who scattered everyone? No one knew. Everyone in the family came. No one saw the sign of any culprit. Someone said, "Perhaps a demon came here, but was unable to harm the child because of the protective mantras." Unable to harm the child, the demon became angry, threw everything here and there, and then fled to his own place. Seeing all this, Jagannath Mishra was bewildered, thinking, "Is Providence?" and not say anything. The two parents saw the disturbance as the will of Providence. However, when they gazed at their infant son, they could not remain unhappy. Some days passed happily in this way, and then it was time for the name-giving ceremony. Nilambar Chakravarti, scholars and relatives all came. Many chaste ladies decorated with red sindoor and splendid like goddess Lakshmi herself also came. Everyone gave thought to choosing the name. Some ladies suggested one name, and other ladies suggested another. Someone said, "There will not be many older sons and daughters. He's the last one born. Therefore his name should be Nimai." After consulting among themselves, the learned scholars decided on an appropriate name for the boy. They said, "As soon as this boy was born, famine ended in the land, and the farmers were blessed with rain. The earth again became happy and prosperous, as if Lord Narayan himself was protecting the earth. Therefore, this boy should be given the name Shri Vishvambar, the maintainer of the worlds. After all, in his horoscope it is written, he will be a brilliant lamp shining in the family." The name Nimai, given by the chaste ladies, will be the second name the people call him. At the most auspicious moment of name-giving ceremony, the Brahmins chanted verses from the Bhagavata, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Vedas. At that auspicious moment, the demigods and humans chanted the holy names of Lord Hari, sounded conch shells, and rang bells. Rice, a book, puffed rice, coins, gold, silver, and other objects were bought and placed before the infant boy. Jagannath Mishra said, "O Vishvambar, my son, please listen. At once grasp whatever touches your heart." Ignoring everything else, infant Lord Chaitanya picked up Srimad Bhagavatam and embraced it. The chaste ladies filled the 4 walls with sounds of Jai, and everyone said, "He will be a great Pandit." Someone said, "This boy will become a great Vaishnav. With slight study, he will learn all the scriptures." Whoever saw Lord Vishvambar's smiling face became drenched in showers of bliss. When he put him on their laps, the ladies did not know how to put him down. Even the demigoddesses cannot easily place the Lord on their laps. Whenever the infant Lord cried, the ladies clapped their hands and sang the names of Lord Hari. Hearing this, the infant Lord would dance as he sat on their laps. This made all the ladies sing Lord Hari's names with more enthusiasm. Thus the Lord's tricks, the holy names of Lord Hari, were always in everyone's mouth. That was his desire. Without the Supreme Lord's desire, no action can be successful. The truth is declared in the Vedas, Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the scriptures. Thus, arranging that his holy name would always be chanted, Lord Chaitanya, Sachi's son, grew day by day. Then the supremely handsome infant Lord began to crawl about on his knees, making the bells around his hips tinkle sweetly. Then the supremely fearless infant Lord began to play in the courtyard. He would grasp snakes, fire, or anything else that he saw. One day a snake slipped through the fence and entered the house. In his childhood pastimes, the Lord at once grasped the snake. The snake coiled around and around, and the infant Lord reclined on the coils. Seeing this, everyone panicked and screamed, "Hi, hi!" The Lord only smiled and continued to recline on the snake. Everyone screamed, "Garuda, Garuda!" The frightened parents and all the relatives wept. Hearing everyone weep, the snake, who was Lord Ananta, slithered away, even though Lord Infant Lord Chaitanya tried again to grasp him. The ladies at once grasped the infant Lord, placed him on their laps, and blessed him, saying, "May this boy live long." Some chanted protective mantras, and others recited blessings. Others poured over the infant Lord's limbs the water of the Ganga, water that had once washed Lord Vishnu's feet. Some said, "It is as if this boy is born again." Others said, "The snake did not hurt him." Infant Lord Chaitanya smiled and looked at all the ladies. Again and again he tried to go back to the snake, but everyone stopped him. Anyone who, with devotion, hears these pastimes, which are secretly described in the Vedas, will not be harmed by the snake of repeated birth and death. After some days, the infant Lord began to walk, wandering here and there in the courtyard. The handsomeness of the Lord's limbs defeated 10 million Kamadevs. The moon yearned to gaze on his face. His graceful head and forehead were covered with graceful curly hair. His eyes were lotus flowers. He looked like Gopal Krishna himself. His long arms reached to his knees. His lips were red, his chest was broad, all his features were handsome and auspicious. His handsome fair form was splendid like the sun. His fingers, hands, and feet were very handsome. The Lord walked here and there as a child walks. Seeing the naturally red soles of his feet, and thinking he had cut himself and was bleeding, such he became frightened. Gazing at the Lord, Sachi and Jagannath Mishra became filled with wonder. Although they were poverty-stricken, they became filled with bliss. When they were alone, they asked each other, "What exalted person has taken birth in our home? I think a great saint has taken birth in our home, and he will put an end to our sufferings in this world of birth and death. I have never heard of a child like ours. He smiles and dances whenever he hears the names of Lord Hari. When he cries, no one can console him, but when someone says the name of Lord Hari, he stops crying. He listens carefully." From early morning, the ladies would surround the boy Lord and sing the holy names. When the ladies clapped their hands and sang Hari, Hari, the handsome fair boy joyfully danced. One time he playfully rolled in the dust, and then, smiling, climbed onto his mother's lap. Gracefully moving his limbs, Lord Chaitanya would dance. Gazing at him, everyone became filled with peerless bliss. No one could understand how the boy Lord had induced them to always chant the names of Lord Hari. The boy Lord was always running in and out of the house. No one could catch him. He was very restless. Wandering outside, the boy Lord wanted to taste whatever he saw, whether it was puffed rice, bananas, or sandesh. When they saw his charming form, even strangers who did not know him at once gave whatever he wished. In this way, everyone would give him bananas and sandesh, and the Lord would happily return home. Then he would give these gifts to the ladies who sang the holy names of Lord Hari. Seeing the boy's intelligence, everyone smiled. At every moment they would clap their hands and sing Hari. The Lord wandered freely in and out of the house, whether morning, noon, or night. Every day he went to a neighbor friend's house and stole something. In one house he drank milk. In another house he ate rice. In a certain house he could not find anything to eat. He would break the pots. If in someone's house there was a small child, he'd make the child cry. If anyone saw him, he would flee. If by destiny someone caught him, he would grasp that person's feet and plead, "Please, let me go on one time. I will never return here again. I will never steal again. Please be merciful." Seeing the boy's intelligence, everyone was filled with wonder. No one was angry with him. Everyone loved him. Everyone loved him more than their own children. When they saw him, he stole their hearts. In this way, the king of Vaikuntha enjoyed pastimes. He would not stay in one place. He was always wandering about. One day, 2 thieves saw the Lord. They thought, "Whose boy is this wandering around the town?" Seeing the glistening ornaments on the Lord's graceful limbs, they decided to rob them. "Son, son," said one, placing the Lord on his lap, "where have you been all this time?" Said the other thief. "Son, let us go home," said the 2 thieves. The Lord smiled and said, "Let us quickly go home." The two thieves quickly took the Lord in their arms. The people nearby said, "Go home, my boy, go home." Who could count the thousands and thousands of people in Navadvip? Gazing at the ornaments, the two thieves became very happy. The two thieves thought, "Nimai's bangles will be mine." As the two thieves hurried to their secret place, the smiling Lord rode on their shoulders. One of the thieves put a sandesh in the Lord's hand. The other thief said, "We've almost come home." By the time the thieves had gone very far, the Lord's relatives began to search for him. Some called out, "Vishwambar, come home, come home." Others called out, "Nimai." Everyone was frantic. They were like fish struggling to stay alive out of water. Everyone completely took shelter of Lord Krishna. Meanwhile, the thieves were carrying the Lord toward his own home. Bewildered by Lord Vishnu's Maya, the thieves could not find the right way. Thinking they were at their own place, they arrived instead at Jagannath Mishra's home. Thinking they were at their own secluded home, the thieves were eager to take the Lord's ornaments. One of the thieves said, "Son, get down. Now we're home." The Lord replied, "Yes, yes, put me down at once." Inside Jagannath Mishra's home, everyone was filled with despair. Their heads rested in their hands. Bewildered by Maya, the thieves thought they were in their own home. They took the Lord from their shoulders and placed him in his own home. As soon as he was put down, the Lord ran to his father's lap. Filled with bliss, everyone called out, "Hari, Hari!" Everyone was filled with a happiness that cannot be described. The life that had once gone again entered their bodies. The two thieves could see they were not in their own home. Whose home they were in, they did not know. Who noticed them in that great commotion? Frightened, the thieves fled, running to the four directions. How strange, the thieves thought. One thief said, "Who knows the magic to have bewildered us like that? Today Goddess Durga rescued us." The two thieves agreed and happily embraced. The two thieves were very fortunate, for Lord Narayan rode on their shoulders. Everyone thought, "Who returned the boy? We should tie a turban around his head." Someone said, "I saw two men. They brought the boy. I do not know where they went." "Why did those two men not declare, 'We have brought him home'?" Everyone said they were very surprised at that. Everyone said, "Child Nimai, where did you go and who brought you back?" The Lord replied, "I went to the bank of the Ganga, but then I lost the path and was wandering around town. Two men picked me up, walked on the streets, and carried me here." Everyone declared, "Child Nimai, where did you go? Who brought you back?" "Then the two men picked me up, walked in the streets, and carried me here." Everyone declared, "When they affirm that the Supreme Lord protects children, old persons, and the helpless, the scriptures do not lie." Bewildered by Lord Vishnu's Maya, and not understanding the truth of what just happened, everyone thought these thoughts. In this way, the king of Vaikuntha enjoyed pastimes. If he does not give understanding, who has the power to understand them? Whoever hears this narration, which is also secretly spoken in the Vedas, attains firm devotion to Lord Chaitanya's feet. The two moons, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda, my life and soul, I, Vrndavana Das, sing the glories of their feet.